Okay, Bishop's on you.
All right. I think I'm frozen in here too.
Colonel's frozen.
Yeah. But keep going. I'll be froze.
Okay.
As long as we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, we're on radio.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Every day we rise is a great day to be alive. And welcome to the Seven Cities Forums of Hampton Roads presents Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And we are here with our host, Leah Drake Stick.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thomas the Colonel Chapman.
Good morning.
What's yours truly, James Slim Overton. Good morning, host. How are you doing?
Oh, having a great day.
Juneteenth weekend.
Juneteenth weekend. And unfortunately, I didn't get to attend any Juneteenth activities because we had our Father's Day program at the sheriff's office.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you were watching 3 or 13, you should have seen it on the news. It was a great event.
Yes.
Yeah, that was part of the reentry program, right?
Part of the Sheriff Michael Moore's reentry program.
And that was for the fathers that have been incarcerated. And
yes, and we brought their families in. Before it was billed as a father-daughter dance. This is our second year, so this was a family activity. So it was a great event.
Yes.
Okay. That's a good thing to have. You know, I always thought that program was really good and vital, introducing former incarcerated men back into, welcoming them back into society. And that just adds to whatever you all are doing, making sure they're recognized as fathers.
Yes. And most of all, it's keeping the families united.
Yes, indeed.
Keeping families together.
Well, thank you for that. Well, indeed, this morning, and welcome to the listeners on WGPL 1350 AM on your dial. We appreciate you. And this morning we have as our guest, Craig Jones, who is president of the Mount Herman Civic League. And good morning, Craig. How are you?
Good morning, James and Leah.
Good
and
morning,
Colonel.
Craig.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How y'all doing?
Great day, Craig.
Thank you for joining us this morning. We'll be right with you, but as right here as normal on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, we always honor. Well, this month we've been honoring students in the city of Portsmouth, seniors, and it's time for that. Leah?
Good morning. It is indeed my pleasure to honor this morning Miss Kayla Richardson. Kayla is a graduate of Churchland High School. She's a cum laude honor graduate of Churchland High School. She participated in the Magnet Dance Program, the Student Council, the Superintendent Student Advisory Committee, the JV Cheer Squad, and she attended TCC, where she received her associate's degree already in social sciences. And she's a part of that magnificent Patterson family, the ones that I grew up with in Truxton, once again. But
okay.
And the Richardsons also, who grew up in Truxton. So we are extremely pleased to honor Miss Kayla Richardson on this morning. We have beautiful pictures of Kayla, and once I learn to share, I will begin to share the pictures of all the students that we honor. So congratulations, Miss Kayla Richardson of Churchland High School, a cum laude honor graduate who has already received her associate's degree from TCC. Congratulations, Miss Kayla. We have another Kayla this morning also, and her name is Kayla Washington. And she's a student at Israel Charles Norcom High School. She didn't put IC Norcom, Israel Charles Norcom High School. She is also an honor graduate. She's in pursuit of an advanced degree, and while actively participating in the First College Scholars Academy. This dual enrollment program affords high school students the opportunity to attain college credits at the local community college while finishing off their last semester of high school. She likes to describe herself as a go-getter. She said when she has a goal that I'm trying to achieve, I would do whatever it takes to make it happen. This mentality is something that was instilled in me at an early age because of her mother, Christian teacher. She also told her that as long as she put in work and trusted in God, she could do anything that she wanted to do, and she shares with us Philippians 4:13. It's something that I recite to herself of the power of the God that she serves. She has received a 4.0 GPA. She has made straight A's for the past 3 years. She's gained membership into the school's coveted organization, the 4.0 Club. She's very proud of herself. She has participated on the scholastic team. She's in the Honor Society. And she said these organizations afforded her the opportunity to participate in different community service projects throughout the Hampton Roads area. So we are also very pleased to honor this morning Miss Kayla Washington, an honor graduate of Israel Charles Norcom High School. Congratulations, Miss Kayla Washington. We wish you the best as you pursue your higher degree once leaving high school. Congratulations to you as well, Miss Kayla Washington and Miss Kayla Richardson.
Well, thank you for the two Kaylas, and I'm glad the last Kayla mentioned Israel Charles Norcom, because there was a guy one time trying to make a point that the students didn't even know what the IC stood for. So,
well, many of them don't, James, and that's unfortunate. Yeah. Many of them.
Well, yeah, and that's probably true, but I'm glad that at least she and probably many others are proven that's not the case.
Exactly.
But thank you, Lee. I appreciate that, and all those who might be watching on Facebook Live. That if you don't see the Colonel, he should be back in soon. Sort of little technical difficulties with him, and now with Leah and her.
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties.
But anyway, we will move on, especially for the radio listeners out there. And like I said earlier, our guest this morning is Craig Jones, who is the president of the Mount Herman Civic League. He's a longtime former principal at Western Branch Junior High School. And how many years were you there, Craig?
25 years.
25 years at the same high school, which is kind of unusual.
Middle school, junior high, middle
school,
yeah.
And junior high school too. That dated me, but middle school. And he's also attended IC Norcom, Israel Charles Norcom, and Norfolk State University, and served in the U.S. Army, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
We appreciate your service there. And Craig and I go way back, because at the Israel Charles Norcom, we were in the same homeroom for about 3 years, I think.
Oh, wow.
2 of those years we had Miss Haywood as our home. And I think the last year they moved Miss Haywood to Craddock, like they did a lot of the veteran teachers out of Norcom, and moved them around. And we had a first year. Hate to say we kind of took it anyway, but probably was made better for it. But anyway, you're here today, and one of the things also we're going to talk about the renaming of the Mount Herman Park on Florida Avenue, Florida, and what's
Mount Vernon,
and to Bernard Griffin's name. But first, Craig, I want to, you're the president of the Mount Herman Civic League, and Mount Herman is one of those neighborhoods that's been around for a long time. And I wanted to start with, we had a term back in the 60s they call urban renewal, which sort of took Lincolnville out. It's supposed to be for the benefit of our communities, but urban renewal really went into a lot of the Black neighborhoods. I guess you might call it gentrification, because the neighborhoods no longer existed after urban renewal went in there, Lincolnville being one of them and Newtown being another. But they had a program that came through in Mount Herman, I think in the late 70s or 80s, where they had some improvements. And like, you still live in Mount Herman and grew up or raised, raised in Mount Herman, still live there. Do you remember that program? Was it that Mount Herman improvement thing?
Well, they started off with the Mount Herman Improvement Foundation, and the government supported the renewal of the actual community. So there was, they provided additional funding for people to renovate their houses and to build new houses. And that went on for a number of years under the leadership of Mr. Joseph Parker, Senior.
Which
he did He did an outstanding job with keeping the community together and making sure that things were run correctly.
He did. Craig, adjust your camera for us, please.
Okay.
There
How's
you
that?
go. Now we can see you.
We
Thank
need, we
Okay.
need to see that whole handsome face there.
I
But,
was
that,
trying to get my shirt. I was trying to get my shirt in too, James.
oh, okay, I see what you.
You see Mount Herman strong. All right.
Okay.
The shirt he has on, which is, I guess the shirt that is a part of the event that's coming up that with the renaming.
That's correct. We're asking all of our community members to wear their shirts at the dedication this Saturday.
Okay, and but I want to go back to the Mount Herman. A lot of the houses, a lot of the older houses are still there. But what that foundation or that project did, was gave a lot of the residents an opportunity to improve their homes. I wasn't because, and why was it some? I guess you had a choice if you wanted to do it or not, because some of the houses still remain there, which I think that's a good thing to have some of the older homes still there. But you had newer homes as well.
Right. Well, they had the option. They could get a low rate loan to improve their homes, or they could actually buy a new home, and the government provided assistance in terms of them doing that. So they could get, if their homes were in really bad shape, many of them opted for new homes in the same area. They just relocated for a brief period while the homes were built, and then many of them came back to the Mount Herman community.
Yeah, and I guess it turned out to be a good thing in a way. Would you say, was your homes one of the ones, did your parents take advantage of that?
I think our home was just bricked, used the low finance for bricking. We didn't destroy it, but my grandfather actually got a new home out of the project. And so he did have a house that was built. His previous home was torn down, and he actually had another one that was built on the same lot.
And I have one more question before I'm sure Leah has something, and we're still waiting for the Colonel to come back on. But being president of the Civic League now, and I guess like most of our communities, especially our African-American communities, we have some of the same concerns or issues, and none of us are immune to the shootings and things, the crime that's going on now. What are one of the biggest issues concerning the Mount Herman residents today?
Well, just as you mentioned before, the crime issue, but our efforts have been trying to get people to get involved. We want to increase the membership so that, there's strength in numbers. And so we've been asking each of the members to try to bring someone else along. A lot of the community members don't know when we meet, and they don't have the information. So we've been focusing on trying to improve our membership and getting people involved so that we can address those issues like the crime in the community and other issues as well.
Well, Craig, there's no better time than now to share with them what days you meet, what time you meet, and where you meet.
All right. We currently meet at the Joseph Parker Center the first Thursday of each month at 7. Now, with the summer coming in, we'll start up again in September. But that is our location, and everyone is invited. Any member of the community is invited, and you don't have to have any special issues. Just come on out. We need the numbers, and we'd like to have everybody involved.
Okay, so that's the first Thursday of each month.
Yes,
at 7 o'clock at the J.
that's correct.
Parker Center. So Craig
Yes.
Jones is asking you to come out to join him to improve your community, the Mount Herman community. So we are asking you all to come out and help him because he can't do it all by himself or with just a few people. So join him so that he can improve the community in Mount Herman. But you have a great event coming up on Saturday, Craig.
Yes. That's the dedication of the park. There have been a number of renovations out there, and it will be renamed the Bernard D. Giffin Senior Park this Saturday at 10 a.m. And we're asking all the members of the community and people in general, just come on out and support this effort. This is the first major renovation in the park in a number of years. And they've done some things out there that we're very proud of. They've regraded the entire park to allow for the optimal drainage of rain and water. They've enlarged the basketball court. We've got brand new goals and backboards. And we also have a new playground area for the children. Very nice area for them. And they can park, the parents can park right near the playground and keep an eye on the children. We've got new benches and trash cans that have been installed. They fenced the entire park. I have an anchor fence around the entire park. They have also put sidewalk around the park so you can walk. Those that are interested in walking and exercising can do that. And finally, they're going to put some new signage out indicating the name of the park in honor of Mr. Giffin.
Will that signage be out by Saturday or will it be after the Saturday event?
It's scheduled to be there by Saturday.
Wonderful.
We wanted to have it ready for the dedication. So hopefully it will be there and installed and we can unveil it at that time.
Very good. But there's no more worthy a person than Bernard Giffin to have that park named after. I was very fortunate to be a part of the NAACP when Bernard was president, as well as many other activities that Bernard was involved in. On the school board, we served the school board, together. And and he really gave back to the community. Bernard believed in his community. He believed in the city. And so he really gave back a lot. I tell you what, he and Tyrone Hines, they took me on a whirlwind tour, always a project going on. So
yes.
So he and Tyrone worked hand in hand in making things better for the Mount Herman community. So other than Bernard, I would say Tyrone would be the second person that I would say that park should be named after, Mr. Tyrone Hines. He walked the streets to raise money for the children in that Mount Herman community. So I think this is a great thing you're doing. I'm looking forward to being there, and we will have on our Mount Herman Strong shirts as we come out in support of you and what's taking place in Mount Herman. Jay?
Right.
Yes, and you mentioned Bernard Giffin, and I want to mention the similarities between you, Craig, and Bernard Giffin. Bernard and his wife were community sweethearts up in Mount Herman, and got together, at a very young age and stayed together as you and Gwen did.
Right.
Yes,
sweetheart, and lived in the community. And the similarities there are quite similar. And Bernard still lived in the community when he was here, and as well as you. So it's something, and it's something about Mount Herman that just keeps you there and keeps you strong, which is a good thing. When people
no doubt.
Strong.
And listen, and as you mentioned Craig's wife's name, it's important that we should also mention Alveria Giffin, because Alveria was the woman behind Bernard throughout all the endeavors that he went through. And his sons are now doing some great things as well. So we're just thankful for the Giffin family.
Yes. I had the privilege also of working with Bernard at the school. We worked together for about 5 years. And many people don't know that even after he retired, he would come back to the school and volunteer in that first week to assist the teachers in whatever they needed. And he was very faithful about that. I mean, dedicated in terms of that. We also are aware of the many community involvement issues. He was chairman of the school board, as you mentioned before, also served as the mayor for a period of time and the vice mayor.
Exactly.
So he was one that gave back to the community, not only the community, but the city as well. And we want more people like that involved. He did it with the right, spirit in terms of helping others. He had a servant's heart.
He did indeed.
Well, Craig, I know this is going to be debatable, but the Mount Herman, that park's basketball court might have been the ruckus, of Portsmouth, because you had a lot of people to come out there, and we talked about some of the celebrities, local celebrities, members of the ODU girls championship basketball team used to come out there and hone their skills on the Mount
Right.
Herman. You're talking like people like Ian Nissel and Nancy Lieberman, you know, of that championship team that came out to Mount Herman, and they said that's how they got you know, honed their skills and got sharper by playing out there on that neighborhood park against some of the
Right.
best neighborhood players.
They were regulars out there as well, and they would always say, in order to be the best, you have to play the best.
Yeah,
So they would come out there, and very often they would dominate. They had one young lady that could jam. I mean, she could actually jam the ball
yeah,
out
that
there.
probably was Ian Nissel because she was about
Yeah.
6'8", 6'10", something like that. And
Yeah.
you know, it was amazing. A lot of people don't know that about that park. And you know, they don't know that I used to come out there too with one of the celebrities that came out there and played. So
Right.
just want to make sure people knew that as well, along with the ODU championship team. Would come out there occasionally too. And
Also, you were one of the celebrities who played on the Mount Herman park playground. You were one of
the ruckus of Portsmouth. You know,
Craig, he was probably on the swings and the sliding board.
that's actually where I was, but I wanted to bring that up. But anyway,
Yes.
anyway, back to the Civic League, Craig, because as far as the crime, what do you think is going to take? You know, because all our neighborhoods are really dealing with this, especially with a lot of our young people. And you being in education for a long time and being at the middle school level of education, a lot of those students you dealt with are the ones that are out here now at those ages of 13, 14, and 15 that were either in middle school or just left middle school. So what do you think it's going to take? What kind of coalition are we going to need in order to sort of get a handle on this?
I think that it's twofold. One is we have to get the parents involved. And many parents that don't know what their children are doing. There's no reason for 13, 14, 15-year-old to be out walking the street 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. This is contributing to the problem that we're dealing with. Also, from the parent perspective, they need to get involved in the school, join the PTA, be an active member. If your child is in the band or orchestra, make sure you're there to support them. If they're involved in the athletic program, attend the athletic events. But we have to rely more upon the parents, and parents have to do their job, play their role in terms of supporting the young people and knowing exactly what they're doing and where they are, and making sure that they come in and do their homework and all those other things that contribute to society. That's, I think, is the key. All too often we hear where, you know, a young person is out unaccounted for. No one is holding them accountable for what they're doing and where they are. And the parents have to get involved. We need them.
Craig, did you find in the recent pandemic that we were going through that there was an increase in the number of children involved in activities that they should not have been involved in since there was no school? Many parents were trying to work. So did you find that there was an additional problem during the pandemic with the young people?
Absolutely. Again, no accountability. You know, the parents have to work, but I think many of our parents set the bar and said, look, this is what you will do. Parents were actually parents and reminded the children, you're not going to do what you want to do. You're not going to do what's convenient for you. We're going to hold them accountable. And so I think that too has contributed to it. And also the rise in the number of gangs. I think we have a problem with the gangs, and we have to address it so that the children will be involved in wholesome activities and not gang-related activities.
And have you had, well, James, I'll let you go next. I have a question, but go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was
Go ahead.
wondering. Oh, okay. Craig, I was going to say, you know, I guess, you know, you're looking at it from a school administrator's point of view, and I guess you can see the difference. You mentioned the difference between when you were, you know, actively involved with the students and now, and all those things that you mentioned, definitely we're lacking, and that's what needs to be But coupled with what the school system can do, what else, what would you be looking, if you were still administrator, what would you be looking for from other sectors of the community, like law enforcement or church, in order to come together with the schools, I mean, to be effective, because
Right,
for
right.
schools, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. It needs to involve the total community as well. The police, they've got their hands full, but they too can support the school in its efforts to get young people pointed in the right direction. I think too, our churches can play a major role as well. There are a number of activities that they can do to get the students involved. Vacation Bible School, and some of the activities, even outings, bowling outings, but get the children involved in some wholesome activities. And maybe this will curb some of the other issues that we've been dealing with, because, there's a lot going on in the community, and we need all the help that we can get in terms of addressing it.
Back in the day, you had the community watch program, which was very effective in the community in somewhat taking notice of those things that were going on, reporting activities that should not be going on to keep the neighborhood safe. I know that Mount Herman is an older community now. What is it comprised of? Is it primarily, you have a lot of young people coming in now, or are they the more senior, more seasoned citizens there now? What's the makeup of the Mount Herman community now?
Well, we're getting a lot of young families that are moving in. We still have some areas where they're building homes. We're getting some a different racial makeup as well. We have a number of majority community members that have joined. They haven't been active in the Civic League, but they're actually living in the community of Mount Herman. So we're still, there's still land to be developed, and a number of houses on the market, and we're getting a lot of young people in. Matter of fact, we had one couple that contacted me last week, said that they would like to join the Civic League. So I'm looking forward to them becoming a part of our community league as well.
Let me ask you this too, Craig. I think in the beginning of your term as president there, or somewhere near the beginning of, you had some issues with some things that have were going on in the community, like businesses coming in, and your only problem with that you all weren't notified, in order, specifically the clinic for can't think of the name of it.
Was it the methadone clinic? Not methadone.
In the old Lucas building.
Yeah.
You have no problem. I remember that during that time you had a real problem with them not really notifying you all, so you all could assess it and address it if you all had problems with it. By the time you all got involved, it was, sort of
A done deal.
Yeah, it was a done deal. So has that relationship between Mount Herman Civic League and the city improved since that? Pandemic slowed everything down, but
yeah, they've made the effort to keep us involved when issues like this come up. With the clinic that's back there, we haven't had any major problems, although some of the neighbors indicate that they're a little loudest at times. They've got a basketball court out there, and sometimes they're out there playing rather late hours. But other than that, I haven't heard of any major issues with the clinic back there. They're pretty active as well. Yeah,
I think it was more of the process that bothered you all at that time.
Right.
Just letting you know what was coming.
Right. Yeah. When we found out about it, like you say, it was a done deal.
Yeah, I remember you going down there, and it was already the vote was already in place. But what would you say to our leadership as far as do you think they are properly dealing with our crime situation? Is probably at least acknowledging it, or I mean, do you? I mean, either from a presidential standpoint or your personal standpoint.
Well, I think they're doing a better job of addressing the issue, but it is certainly room for improvement. I'd like to see them, council and the other departments work a little closer together to resolve the issue. And it seems to me sometimes they're on different pages, and that does not help the city at all. So if we can get them to get together or to work together for a solution in terms of the many problems that we're facing with crime, that would help us out tremendously.
And sometimes you need to bring the people from that community and make them a part of the roundtable.
Yes.
Because the people in the community, they know what's taking place in their community. And so if you bring them in and have them a part of the roundtable, you can really discuss what's happening in the community because you see it day to day. They're
Yes.
only seeing it from the outside. So you
Yes.
need to be a part of the group that's making the decision as to what's going to take place in your community.
Yes, yes, I agree 100%. And I will say that one of the city officials that's been very active with us and keeping us involved has been the sheriff, Michael Moore. He has attended a number of our meetings, and he's been very involved in terms of, if you need anything, just let me know. And so we certainly appreciate that. Some of the others that have helped, Councilman Paul Battle has been very active as well. And there are many others, but those two stand out with me.
And Paul Bauer is from the Mount Herman community. So
Absolutely.
it's good to know
Absolutely.
that he's going back and giving back to the community. That's a good thing. So
Yes, no doubt.
and how about does Joseph Parker still have family living in the community? I used to know some of the younger members of the family.
Yes, there are a number that are still here. They live on Mount Vernon, and Sylvia and some of the other girls are still in the young ladies, I should say, is still in the family home. So yes, they're
Are they
still in
active
Mount
in the
Herman.
Civic League as well?
Occasionally, we talk directly with some of the members. They haven't attended any of the meetings, but they're still involved. If there's something going on and you need a question in regards to the history of the community, Sylvia is the one you contact, because she pretty much knows from the very beginning up until the present time. She can point you in the right direction and give you any information that you need.
And I hope you all are recording that information for the sake of history.
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, we are.
Well, let's get back to Saturday. Excuse me. Tell us what's going to take place. Well, I mean, what's going to make people want to come out there and be a part? Not just because, I mean, just having it named after Bernard Giffin is a reason to come out, but what other things would take place on that morning, on Saturday morning?
Well,
Craig, before you answer that, let me, it's about 5 minutes to, and I just we'll be leaving the radio station at 7, but we'll continue on Facebook Live. And I just wanted to acknowledge and thank all the listeners now that are listening on WGPL 1350. We appreciate you. And, just so we won't have to break your answer up, and just wanted to acknowledge them now, and they'll probably be closing us out soon. So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening on WGPL 1350, and continue to watch us on Facebook Live. But Craig, go ahead. You can answer.
Okay. All right. With the dedication program, we'll have words from the mayor, the director of Parks and Recreation, also the Park and Recreation Commission, I believe is the name. Welcome from the Civic League, and also Mrs. Giffin will also give her comments as well. We want folks to come out and see what their tax dollars are being used for. It's a very beautiful park, and it's been a place where a lot of positive things have taken place in the past, and we're hoping that will be something that will bring out community members and let them know that we've got a beautiful park that they can enjoy. We're hoping that this too will be a catalyst for us to get some members into the Civic League. It'll be an opportunity for us to invite them to come on out, because certainly there is strength in numbers, and we need as many members as we can so that we can make the Mount Herman Civic League a very positive organization, and that we're doing things that will help the community grow. Eventually, we're hoping to be able to have something like a cookout, and we can invite the residents out to share their concerns, offer them a hot dog or soda, Food is certainly something that would draw the people out as well. So we need as many folks as we can to help us out. We can't do it alone. We got a small group of really active members, but we want to do everything that we can to increase our membership so that we can move forward.
And it's good to highlight these things that are going on in the community, you know, what the civic leagues are doing, with, you know, starting with Alvara with the meditation, meditation park, and you all dedicating your new facilities there for the youth. And so these should be times when the citizens really should be engaged and involved and joining you all to assist you all to get all that you can get from the city in order to make life better for all of those individuals within the community. Now, I know you have is there anything for the seasoned folks in the community?
Well, they still have the recreation center, and I know a lot of the folks go to that new facility on Frederick, where they have line dancing and so forth. And we also have a senior station on Airline Boulevard that's a part of, Parks and Recreation.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are things that they can do outside as far as exercising and so forth. And we're hoping that with the new park dedication, that folks will just utilize it for that purpose.
Especially said it has like a little trail. So if you want to walk during the day, you can walk and get your exercise in.
Yes, they've got grass that they planted. It's really, really a nice facility, and you have enough room to walk around, and you can get in as many miles as you like.
Very good, very good.
Well, since you mentioned seasoned citizens, I'm available for an old timers game on this Saturday. I think that would be quite entertaining.
Very entertaining.
Maybe in a comical way. But anyway, for those who just tuning in now, we're talking to Craig Jones, who is the president of the Mount Herman Civic League. And we're talking about the community of Mount Herman, the historic, I could call it the historic community, even though it's not designated that. But and renaming of Mount Herman Park after our beloved Bernard Giffin Sr. I want to bring this up because somebody texted me and asked me about this. They were concerned about the cost of the renovation of that, and if it was spent feasibly. I don't know about that, but they were saying it costs, and maybe you can clear this up. It costs $500,000, to do that. Are you familiar with that? And they were talking, it didn't look like that much was spent out there. I mean, it looks nice, but this is what a citizen brought up.
Right. I'm not aware of the total cost. 500,000 seems a little excessive. However, they did do a lot of preparation as far as with the drainage and so forth. So there were new storm lines put in, and to help get the water off, to make sure that it doesn't just have standing water. And they also put in a lot of concrete and cement area for the sidewalk that was there. But as far as $500,000, I don't know what the cost is, and I doubt very seriously that it was that much. However, I have to say that I don't know because, we didn't get into the figures of the cost of it. We just knew that we wanted the park renovated, and it took us about 5 years to get that done.
Well, some of that you mentioned about drainage and so forth, that would be a part of capital improvement anyway. There's probably some delayed maintenance that should have been done anyway.
Years.
And
yes.
Sometimes attention is brought to an area, that's when they say, okay, we better get this done. If we're going to spend money, we're going to make sure the drainage. So that's probably something that's been on the list for a while. And
right.
If that's included in the cost, that's not, something that the park would show, as far
right.
as what you're looking for. But that's something that's part of the capital improvement. And that's something that had to be cleared up. I just want somebody to text me about that, and they knew about the program. Just wanted to bring that up.
Okay.
But either way, I wanted to ask this too, going back to Mount Herman. You grew up in Mount Herman. Who were some of the influences to you growing up? And you ended up in education. I don't know when you were playing football for the community league. We wanted you to play for Norcom, but you were doing great in the community league. Getting all the trophies. Were you thinking about education then, or were there influences in the neighborhoods, education-wise, or that's something that just came later? But who were your influences or people you looked up to other than your parents?
Right. Well, I think about my 7th grade mathematics teacher, Miss Mamie Fain.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
She saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And I attended the science fair back in, I guess, about 67. And she was very instrumental in that. I came in 2nd place out of the district. And the funny thing about it is that fair was held at Western Branch Junior High School.
Wow.
So, some 40 or 30 years later, I ended up being the principal. And I remember the very spot where I had set up my display is where they ended up putting my portrait, as the principal of the school. So
That's
it's funny how things just go around.
It
I
does.
also had a 6th grade teacher, Miss Bernard Giffin was my 6th grade teacher.
You better stop the
And
madness.
so you see how things, you never know who in life is going to help you to become whatever you're going to become. There are so many people, young people, that you can influence. There are folks that are watching how you react to things and how you do things. I will say also, we had a coach in Mount Herman, Leon Boone, who ended up being our pastor.
You're Pastor Leon Boone.
So, yeah, that's right. So he also was influential in terms of, the community involvement and things that occurred. So there's so many. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know one young person in our community. He said, "Mr. Jones, I see you every day with your briefcase, and I want to be just like you." So we have to make sure that we set the example for the kids in the community, and give them some positive things that they can look up to, and encouragement as well.
That's
You know,
just amazing. Wait a minute. Alvaria was your 6th grade teacher. Then
Yep,
Bernard came and worked under you in the middle school.
that's correct.
Wow.
That is correct.
That's
And I
taking
will say off.
that's taking life full circle for real.
I will say also that he had been a teacher there for a number of years, and when I first got there, he said, "I want to do everything that I can to ensure your success." And he certainly worked towards making sure I was successful. I was greener than an onion or cucumber when I went there. You really need people that will help you. You can't run a school, especially a school that large, by yourself. So you need the support of your teachers and your staff and your parents in order to do that. So I didn't do any of that by myself. It was because of the support of those individuals and their assistance that I was able to stay there for as long as I stayed.
Amazing. And just one other thing. What about Tyrone Hines? What did you get to work with Tyrone in the community? Because he was Mr. Mount Herman himself.
Tyrone was the fundraising guy. He did a lot of walking to get uniforms for the kids, anything that he could do to get financial support for the children. He was all about that. I mean, he was able to get the support of the Beasley Foundation, many of the businesses in the area. I mean, they had to give Tyrone some money because he was going to stay on them.
He'll stay
He
right
would
there.
do whatever it
He
takes.
wouldn't leave until you give him that money now.
That's right. That's right. You're going to give him some money for the children, as he would say, for the children.
And
He
for a
had to
man
get
who
the money.
didn't drive, he got all over the city requesting money for the children of Mount Herman. He did not
That is
let
right.
not driving prevent him from doing what he had to do for the citizens of the Mount Herman community.
That's right. That's right.
yeah,
And he touched base with a lot.
I must say, one of my first roommates and dear friend at Virginia Union was from Mount Herman, and he's the late Reverend Dr. Ed Smith. And I met him, well, we met at Wilson when I first went to Wilson. and had no idea until we got to Union that we were even going to Union, because we didn't discuss it, but we ended up being roommates for years there at Union. And I want to say, ask you this, Mount Herman was sort of during the time when integration started, Mount Herman was sort of, I don't know how they were zoned at one point. I remember at one point, because I met your brother Steve when I went to Wilson that first year. They had freedom of choice,
Right, right.
to go to where we wanted to, and because we were the only one taking that freedom of choice and going to the white schools, then they went back to zoning. And Mount Herman was it broken up in the zoning? Because I know some people in Mount Herman went to Wilson, were zoned to Wilson, and some people went to Norcom. Was all of Mount Herman zoned to Wilson? And then, because Norcom at one time was a place where you could choose to go to Norcom. How was that?
Right.
Was it?
Well, I think with the freedom of choice was the first option that they had. And then eventually, I believe in about 71, 72, they zoned Mount Herman to Churchland High School. So unless you were in something else, you couldn't go to Norcom. As a matter of fact, I think Ray Smith and I are the only ones on our side that our senior year that went to Norcom. Well, there may be 2 or 3 others as well, but that's how it ended up. A lot of folks ended up going to Churchland for their junior and senior year, and they didn't have an option. That was it. It was the forced busing.
Wow. I always wondered that, because it was just a number of people at Northam and a lot of people that went to Wilson, some that wanted to go to Northam, and then ended up, like you said, at Churchland, which sent us right back to busing, which didn't make sense to me,
Right.
So we had gotten away from that, but anyway, that was Mount Herman. How far does Mount Herman go back? Was Mount Herman originally a Black community, or was it one of those communities that we sort of like Prentice Park,
Right. It was always a Black community. I mean, majority middle class Black community, extending from the Beltline Railroad over to the Mid-City area, and then down to, they had another railroad track on Mount Vernon Avenue. So we had divided into West Mount Herman and East Mount Herman, so to speak. One side of High Street and the other side of the High Street. But it was always predominantly Black middle class community.
And y'all abutted Port Norfolk, is it?
Yeah, Port Norfolk and West Haven on the other side.
Yeah. So how was those relationships?
You knew where not to go. You knew where you weren't supposed to go.
You have a lot of businesses that are right on the border of that Mount Herman community. Do they get engaged and involved in the community? Is there any support from them for the community? I mean, you can have Chick-fil-A and all of the other businesses there. Have they been engaged? Yes.
Kroger has been very supportive. Even the Walmart, Chick-fil-A, and that's about it as far as the major contributors, and assisting us.
Now, was Robert Earls from the Mount Herman community?
Originally he was, and he moved, I think, to Huntersville, but he's back in the community now.
Okay.
And he loves it.
I know he does. Reverend Robert Earls.
Yes.
Mount Herman community as well. And I hope that he is involved. I'm looking at it now. He's watching. So I hope that he is a member of the Mount Herman Civic League, and he's actively participating in the Mount Herman Civic League. Robert Earls, I'm calling you out at this time. Reverend Robert Earls. No comment?
What would you say the relationship in the churches? You have you have the Celestial, you have the Mount Herman Temple, and who was under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Waters for years. And you have these great churches in the communities. And we're looking for that now, more of a relationship between the churches and the communities that they directly located. Is that relationship still going on like you think it should be, or does it need to be more, or what?
All right, we can always use improvement, but at Celestial Baptist Church, we're supportive of the rec center, their before and after school care program. We donate on a regular basis to support the children that attend that rec center. I'm hoping that the other churches in the area will also, pick up the baton and contribute as well. We're more or less working in isolation, even though, I think the Temple and Providence and Mount Nebo and even Taylorsville, at some point, hopefully those 5 churches in the Mount Herman community can get together and ask what can they do as far as addressing issues of crime or family involvement. So a lot of our churches are working in isolation, and we can do a better job of working together.
That's very true.
That would be a powerful coalition if you get all those churches that could work together. What a beginning that would be. And I think all the communities are looking for that kind of relationship with the churches that are in the communities. So we just have to keep striving for that. Leah, for the people that just come on, do you want to give the students that we are honoring today, or that we are recognizing?
I will be so pleased to be able to do that. This morning, Portsmouth Comfort Talk is very pleased to salute Miss Kayla Richardson, who is once again a part of that Patterson Richardson family from the Truxton community. She is a Churchland graduate. She's a cum laude honor graduate. She participated in the magnet dance program, the student council, the superintendent student advisory committee, the JV cheer squad, and she attended TCC, where she recently received her associate's degree in social sciences. So I want to say congratulations to Kayla Richardson. Congratulations to the Patterson Richardson family for having this beautiful young lady and having not only brains, but beauty as well. So congratulations, Kayla Richardson. We also have as an honoree this morning, Miss Kayla Washington. Kayla is a senior at Israel Charles Norcom High School. She's an honors student. She's in pursuit of an advanced degree. While actively participating in the First College Scholars Program. This dual enrollment program affords high school students the opportunity to obtain college credits at the local community college while finishing off their last semester of high school. She describes herself as a go-getter. She has a goal. She says, if I have a goal, I'm going to achieve it. While in high school, she's been active in the Greyhound community, participating in numerous activities. She's marched as a member of the Versatile 100 Marching Band, playing both the mellophone and the French horn. She's been blessed to take on the role of the mellophone section leader. She was also a member of the school's drama and theater club. She regularly played lead roles in many productions. She's a part of the Scholastic Bowl team and was pretty good, if she do say so herself. She's also an inducted member of the school's chapter of the National Honor Society. Miss Kayla Washington has received straight A's for the last 3 years, and she has achieved a 4.0 GPA, which gained her membership into the school's coveted organization, the 4.0 Club. We are so pleased and so blessed this morning to be able to honor these 2 fine young ladies, Miss Kayla Washington of Israel Charles Norcom High School and Miss Kayla Richardson of Churchland High School. Congratulations to both of you. Godspeed, and we wish you all that life has to offer for you, the best there is to come. God bless.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. And I'd like to also let the people know that Miss Kayla, she's the one that put down Israel Child's the full
Yes.
name of I.C. Northam. Even we don't do that. And I
Yes.
think it's important that she recognizes the whole name and lets people know she knows what the whole name is. That's not always the case, but we're
Exactly.
those
Exactly.
two ladies and recognizing them, and with those grade point averages and still doing those extracurricular activities, that's amazing. And that's why we want to recognize these students here on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, especially this month, but we will continue to do this all year round. Making sure we recognize the students. I think they deserve the attention, because most of the time when we hear about our students or our young people, it's bad news. It's on the news. So we want to be the ones, along, I hope others will do it as well, recognize what our students are achieving, and make sure people know that through all, especially through the last year, a lot of the kids through the pandemic and trying to deal with their parents trying to teach them. But
and the parents found out the parents found out it wasn't as easy a job as they thought it was to teach.
That's right.
Craig,
Yeah.
Craig, and teachers and administrators. So thank you again for that. Craig, we want to thank you really for coming on and sharing some information about Mount Herman. Not often we hear about Mount Herman. Everybody knows about Mount Herman, but very seldom we get a chance to talk about what's going on in Mount Herman. I'm glad you came on and shared some information about that, especially the information. We want you to repeat the dates and the times for the dedication, for the renaming rather, of Mount Herman Park after Bernard.
Okay. Again, we'd like to invite everybody out this Saturday, June 26th at 10 a.m. Come on out. Suggest you bring your lawn chair as well if you have any trouble standing. We'll have the dedication starting at 10 a.m. and we'd like to invite the community and also members of the city out to come on out and share in this glorious occasion. So we look forward to seeing you there. And if you're a member of the Mount Herman community, I encourage you to join the Civic League. We need members to be strong.
Indeed.
And Craig, we thank you so very much. And we thank you for the great job that you're doing, the selfless job that you're doing to take on being the president of the Civic League. And we wish you the best. And once again, we do encourage everyone to come out and join you, because it's going to take the entire community working together in order to make improvements within the community. So we hope that those who are living in Mount Herman will come out and be a support to you so that you can make Mount Herman as strong as it possibly can. I know you said Mount Herman strong, but you want to make it stronger. There you go. Mount Herman strong. But yes, but you need the citizens to be out there to help you as well. You can't do it by yourself. So I thank you so very much for all that you do. I thank you for joining us this morning on Portsmouth Coffee Talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
And I see a message from Thomas Chapman thanking you as well. And for all the Colonel fans that we didn't get a chance for him to be involved, some technical difficulties, couldn't get him on, but he was still watching and he's here with us in spirit. But, corrected by next week and we'll see the Colonel back with us.
James, and before we go, we do have to thank all of those foot soldiers. I mentioned Tyrone Hines and Bernard Giffin and Mr. Parker and all of those individuals who kept Mount Herman on the forefront so that you can have the opportunity to have the activities that you're having on this Saturday. So we congratulate all of those who put forth the effort earlier in order for you to get to where you are today. So congratulations to each of them as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Patsy Hines who worked
Patsy.
Patsy. Tyrone Hines.
Yes, she does. Patsy is a hard worker as well.
And one of our faithful watchers.
Yes, every Monday morning. We can rely on Patsy, that's for sure.
I appreciate her. Craig,
and also, James, one more thing. And also my friend Wayne Too Good, who is in Australia. He's on watching this morning as well. So Wayne Too Good in the Down Under, thank you for watching.
Thank you. I don't know what time it is there, but
I don't either.
Before we go, any last words you like to say concerning the Civic League or personally?
I'd like to thank both you, Leah and Colonel, for having me. And again, we look forward to this Saturday in the dedication of the Bernard D. Giffin Senior Park here in the beautiful community of Mount Herman.
Thank you, and tell Gwen we said hello.
Well,
And thank you, Alvara Griffin. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday as well.
Okay. And Portsmouth Coffee Talk will be there. I know I'll be there filming.
So do we have to wear Mount Herman Strong shirts? Can we wear our Portsmouth Coffee Talk shirts? We'll put the Mount Herman Strong on over and wear it over our shoulders, but we have
I'll have
Okay,
we'll be out there to support you.
we will.
all right. Looking forward to it.
Thanks again, and we appreciate everybody for watching on this week's edition of Portsmouth Coffee Talk. And join us next week as our guest will be Dr. Ernestine Duncan, professor of psychology. I think psychology at Norfolk State University. Can't get away from Norfolk State University.
Behold the green and gold.
Behold the green and gold.
For real, the maroon and steel. But she will be here next week, and she's our resident person that comes in and talks about mental health, and she'll be here talking about we're coming out of the pandemic. Oh yeah, and by the way, we still have to be safe and careful at these events, even though they're outside. It's up to you. Still some people that are compromised, like I said, that you might want to continue to wear your mask, but it's up to you. It's outside, but you know, let's be careful. Let's be careful. There's still something going on out there that
Yes.
we have to be aware of. It's not
Yes.
completely gone. But anyway, next week we'll be talking about us coming out that pandemic and the effects it might have had on us, our mental health. So join us next week with Dr. Ernestine Duncan. We appreciate it.
Before we go, Let Scott says, although I'm from the Cavalier Manor community, fairly new resident, says it was great hearing about the Mount Herman story. So we're glad that we share some information there that others can learn about the history of Mount Herman as well.
Absolutely.
Somebody, I don't know who this is, who put this up here. Somebody said, well, that was family. My cousin said I was the Dr. J out in Mount Herman. My first name is James, so Dr. J fits. Let me stop before I start something here. But anyway, for real this time, thanks everybody, and we'll be going, and we'll see you next week. We appreciate it. God bless you.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Our voice.
And Portsmouth Coffee Talk is always here to share our voice,
Our community, and our future.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you all.
Okay. All righty. Goodbye.
Have a great